Yo, what is up, Marvel Legends fans? Welcome to this Fan First Wednesday. I'm Dan, and joining me is Dwight. Dwight, I think we have a special guest, though. We need to welcome back somebody. What do you think?
I love special guests. Yeah, sounds great.
Guess who's back?
You two. Wild. How's it going?
Good.
What I
Good to
missed?
see you, Ryan. It's been a while. You've been gone for a bit. What's been going on with you?
I'm a new Ryan variant with a new wonderful baby at home, and all that comes with it. So, super happy to be back with you as I continue snacking here on my delicious prop. But yes, fans, the Marvel Legends Big Three proper, we are reassembled. We are here with you. I am Ryan in marketing, joined by Dan in marketing, and the man in the middle, the very patriotic Go USA, Dwight.
That's right, man.
in
It's
design.
Olympics, baby. Olympics. Woohoo!
Let's go. Our basketball team just needs to get its stuff together. But anyways, we are so happy that you guys are joining us. We've got a bunch of stuff, more so than the last live stream, which I watched from the comfort of my own home, was one big item. So for those of you who wanted more smaller items, this is for you. So hopefully, if you haven't already seen the Marvel Studios Disney Plus What If trailer, you watched it kind of in the upfront there. So we're going to be talking more about What If. But before we do that, let's go back to Loki. I think the whole Loki show ran its course since the last live stream we had in May. So we revealed the Sylvie Marvel Legends figure from this wave as part of the Marvel must-have. So let's just take a closer look at Sylvie here, Dwight. And can you speak to how her shawl here can be removed? And because that wasn't really pictured in any of the promo shots.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, it's real simple. It just kind of snaps onto her shoulders, but it pulls right off. Super easy. So you can have Sylvie as she was in many of the episodes without the cape at all, but it just kind of wraps around her shoulders to lock in place. And you can have her cloak from the early episodes of the show. Like I said, it just pops right off to give you how she looked for most of the remainder of the show.
Can we just do a rotation, show the back kind of view? Yeah, so it's for the whole last episode, she's basically without that. So I think this is cool because a lot of times when we do figures with jackets, the jackets are actually sculpted onto the arms, so you can't have them without the jacket. This is what I call the gambit problem. It's cool that her shawl can go on and off. Display it any way you like. So she is super excited. Pair her with your variant TVA Loki from the first Disney Plus wave. And so speaking of Disney Plus waves, we are going to take you through the long-awaited second Disney Plus wave for this year. And this focus is going to be on What If. So let's take a look at the teaser poster for What If. So this was released a couple of weeks ago in conjunction with that final trailer. A lot of the characters you see here, we got some snippets from Captain Carter and T'Challa Star-Lord. And actually, if you look closely, most of the figures in this upcoming wave are actually on this poster, and then some. So let's just jump right in. This is going to be the second Disney Plus wave. The first figure is the Sylvie figure. Jumping into What If, we have T'Challa Star-Lord. So what's going on here, Dwight? Why do we think Star-Lord is T'Challa in this?
I think it just, what if, right? What if T'Challa was Star-Lord? And we kind of captured that here. We'll have T'Challa. He'll have two of his elemental blasters. He will also have an alternate head, not shown in this image, but it is the iconic kind of helmet that Star-Lord that you're used to seeing. So you can have, there you go. So you got both T'Challa as his unmasked human form, as well as there he is with his really nice kind of purpley jacket with some purple and gold accented blasters.
Cool. So before we go into the rest of the waves, I wanted to ask you two things, Dwight. First is, how would you describe the aesthetic in terms of like the sculpting? Because this is clearly based on animation, but looking at some of the characters, they are what I would still deem kind of like lifelike proportions a little bit? And then secondly, can you speak to the photoreal deco? Because I noticed today that all of these What If figures have the photoreal deco, even though they're animated characters.
Yeah, I'll stick with the photoreal first. As we start to move towards the upcoming years, we're actually going to be using that photoreal across everything, not just your theatrical figures, or in this case, the animated What If figures, but we're also looking to incorporate that into classic figures to give them an updated look. We've done a lot of amazing comic figures over the year. And we think it's just a great opportunity since it's been received so well with high praise by the fan community that we're going to try to put that across all of our figures and really give those extra levels of detail and realism, extra punch from comic to animated to movie. And as far as the style of the figures go, we do have a little bit of variance here where we have the opportunity to make a character 100% from scratch. We tried to match the stylistic approach from the animation as closely as possible, very similar to how we did on Spider-Verse, the Stiltman series, where Peter B. and Miles and Gwen were much more in the vein of how they looked in their animated looks. So you're going to be seeing that same kind of treatment here on a lot of these characters. Some of the characters' costumes are heavily inspired by what we had in our library for other characters. So in that case, we might have used some existing parts to build some of the new characters, but everything lives in that 1/12 Marvel Legends universe. And with the coloring really helps bring the whole wave together, or at least the animated figures in this wave, to make them feel like they're a cohesive element across the upcoming show, which we'll all be watching real soon.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, a lot of new sculpts, guys. I was looking, and almost all of these figures are entirely pinless too, which is a bonus. I think there's one figure that might be reusing some legs there, but yeah, just wanted to take a quick moment aside there because these figures look so great. So let's jump right in. The next figure we have in this wave is a new version of Nebula with hair this time. A lot of new parts here. Interesting hair, Dwight. Interesting blaster. She's called Heist Nebula in the copy, but we don't know why. So I guess you'll have to tune in.
Yeah, don't be looking to us for any answers on to the what ifs or whys of these costumes. It's all new and unknown to us at this point as well. So we just thought it was taking a look at some of these different looks. It was cool to revisit the characters in a different way, and Nebula is a perfect candidate with her beautiful glam kind of Marilyn hair, right? And she's got a new blaster, fits really nicely into her holster. And the colors are really nice and poppy. There's a lot more saturation to her, so it looks fantastic, and she really jumps in plastic form. So a new take for Nebula.
New Nebula. All right. Moving on to another strong female character. I think she's in the forefront of a lot of the marketing and can't wait to see her on screen. Up next, we have Captain Carter. This is an awesome figure. That photoreal deco looks amazing. She, looks like a super soldier in this, so she is actually pretty tall compared to some of the other standard, MCU female characters. Dwight, walk them through Captain Carter here.
Yeah, Captain Carter is fully articulated. She has pinless double elbows, pinless double legs, ankle rockers, torso, neck, wrist, all the articulation breaks you've come to know and love for Legends. She's got that great stylized Union Jack across her chest, as well as on her shield, which is really cool and different. I really hope that we get a chance to make that shield in roleplay one day, because it is quickly becoming one of my favorite things that from this new show. And here I got a side by side of her with Nebula. And like I said, Nebula uses some of the movie pieces, so you can kind of get an idea for the scale of her. So she definitely has a height advantage on her. So she's a little bit bigger. Her shoulders are about one entire shoulder ball higher than Nebula's. So she's got some height, she's got some mass, and she's got the full articulation treatment as well as the photoreal. So it's a real beautiful figure, and I think it's going to look awesome on your shelves. And there's something extra we can do with her that we'll talk about in just a couple of minutes.
That's a good teaser. I like it. So, all right, Captain Carter down. She's probably my favorite in the wave, I'd say, one of my favorites. So moving on to another character that you saw a lot in that trailer earlier is a new version of Doctor Strange. We're calling him here Doctor Strange Supreme. Not sure why, again, his different color palette here. He kind of looks like he's been through some stuff in the trailer. Maybe there's multiple Doctor Strange, but but he's got a really cool cape and a lot going on here, Dwight. A lot of plastic here.
Yeah, a very voluminous cape. It's a really, really soft PVC, so it flexes super easy out of the way for your pose for your posing of the figure. It shouldn't hinder anything. It's got a lot of deco on it too. While the back of the cape is mostly black with the gold trim, the inside has a lot of beautiful gold and purple ornamentation. Kind of, a lot of those symbols that you associate with Doctor Strange from drawing a blank, but from his the sanctum on the window of the sanctum and other things we've seen from the Strange universe. So it's a really, really awesome head sculpt. He looks really kind of tired. He's got some. He's definitely got some stuff going on in him with him, and I can't wait to hear what the story is as to why he looks this way. But another awesome Doctor Strange, a little bit different, but pretty fresh.
Really, really cool looking Doctor Strange. Cool. So next up, we have another character who has a cape, but maybe normally we don't see him with it. But he has it in this show because we're getting crazy with What If. This is Zombie Hunter Spidey. What's going on here? Well, he's got a cape, he's got an unmasked head, and I think he also has a mask head too, right?
Yeah, you've pretty much covered everything that I know about this character. The one thing that I think fans will be super excited about is this is a red and blue pinless armed Spider-Man. So blue on the inside, red on the outside. It's looks really, really, really beautiful, and no more ugly red pins showing through on the inside of his arm. So a little bit more comic and obviously animated accurate for when you want to pose them out and play with them for your in your toy box.
I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss that big red pin though, Dwight. I'm gonna miss them. But onwards and upwards with new ways to do Spider-Man. So this is Zombie Hunter Spidey. So presumably he's going to be hunting zombies. Let's take a look at Zombie Captain America here and talk him through, Dwight, all of the sculpt detail and the deco. It's so like gross, for lack of a better word, but it's just with all the things torn apart and all that.
Yeah, torn apart is the great way to describe Cap here. He's definitely seen better days. He looks thoroughly gross, and he has all sorts of chunks missing from the sides of his cheeks to his rib cage to his thighs, which literally have holes blown all the way through them, front to back. He's got a lot of rot all over his grayish, greenish blue skin tone. I believe he is 100% new, with the exception of maybe the shield. But the shield even has a lot of muck and mire put on that, and he's really gross. And you can do a lot of fun with him too, because of all the articulation. You can get him into some really awesome poses to have him be all like, limping forward and being all gross and weird. So, have a lot of fun with him. He's got a lot of fabric pieces that are just kind of hanging off the costume. And like I said, if you look at his thighs here, you can see that there are holes that go all the way through his legs, which is pretty cool, and he is just he's even got ribs all the way cut through all the way to his back. So from front to back, with his tatters of his costume, he has definitely seen better days. But it's a cool, and this is our first ever zombie figure. So something new, which is cool. We've never done this before, so it's always fun. Like we talk many, many, many times when we get to do something that we haven't done and tread on a new ground. So with the whole zombie verse, out there, maybe it's something we'll see more of. If you guys are interested in it, let us know if how you like this one and if you'd like to see more.
Yeah, that's right. We know fans that there is a whole Marvel Zombies universe with many different storylines over the years. This was a particular way for us to tie into the Disney Plus show and the zombie Captain America in What If. So if you like kind of our zombie treatment here, maybe we'll get to the other part of the comic universe later on. But that figure is super fun. I love the facial expression too, and you have like one of the straps is hanging off his face. So can't wait to get this guy and add him to the shelf there. So that'll round out the 7-figure wave. You've got Sylvie from Loki, and then you've got 6 animated What If characters, which will take us to the Build-A-Figure. A lot of people predicted who it would be, but you've got to have the Watcher here, Dwight. Classic character from the comics. This is the distinctly What If style aesthetic, but a pretty interesting Build-A-Figure. I had to put him together today and had to think a little bit about it. But what's going on here with Uatu?
Yeah, Uatu in his lots and lots of big flowy blue robes. And he's pretty big. And I know you guys always are wondering about height. So if you guys want to hop over and take a look, here is Uatu standing next to Sylvie. So it gives you an idea, not perfect, but it gives you a good idea as to the scale of this figure. So he's pretty tall, as he should be for some weird guy who decides to live on the moon and watch over all of us. So creepy. What a creepy job. Creepiest guy in the Marvel Universe. And to the top of his head, he looks like he's just about 8.75. So he definitely is a pretty tall figure. Lean. He has fully articulated arms, different articulation styles for different arms because one is bare and one is robed. He's got the torso rocker in the middle. He's got a giant PVC skirt, and he's got little blue underpants on there underneath his otherwise naked legs, bare feet, and a big orangish kind of skin tone for his big giant oversized melon. But he's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and another character that we've never done before.
I was measuring him earlier too. I think if you count the little part that goes above his head, he's actually pretty close to 9 inches. So in spirit of the draft tomorrow, I think it is. I think it's Thursday. This guy he's got a great wingspan and he's got good measurables. So his legs are super long and he's got a crazy wingspan. So there you have the Watcher. The Build-A-Figure. So let's take a look at this whole wave. 7 figures plus the Watcher. It is going up for pre-order tomorrow, Thursday, the 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at everywhere, basically, Pulse and all your other retailers. So it's actually not going up today. It is going up tomorrow so you can, have a little bit of a break. No need to rush over there today, but go pre-order your Watcher. Disney Plus, What If mostly, and Loki themed wave tomorrow. So with that, but that's not all what we have for What If. Dwight teased that you could do something else with Captain Carter. So as a special bonus item, this is a standalone deluxe item, which we've been keeping quiet for many, many months, but so happy to share with you guys here. You saw it in the trailer, in the various trailers. A character to probably team up with Captain Carter, we would assume, but let's take a closer look at this new deluxe What If figure. Take it away, Dwight.
Yeah, we have a massive Hydra Stomper here. It is a giant suit of armor, which just looks so awesome, and it's so heavily World War II era inspired. It's got hooks all over the front side of his body for the rider to presumably use to climb up to get inside the armor. It has full articulation. It has the movable shoulder pads. It has a backpack thrusters that rotate in and out. And as you can see, you can plug in exhaust plumes to it so that he can actually look like he's rocketing off into space. He's got ankle rockers. I believe he has interchangeable hands. We even cored out elements like his gun barrel under his right arm so that you can plug in other blast effects there, so you can make it look as if he's actually shooting things out there. He's got the antenna on over his left shoulder, and he has a grip on the back of his backpack. He's got this little handle here, which you can kind of see, bump, bump, bump. And down here you have these kind of foot clamps. And in one of the early sizzle trailers, you saw Captain Carter riding this. So it is a character, but I guess for you vehicle lovers, it could also be viewed as a vehicle that she could, climb onto his back and jettison off into battle for, fortune and glory, man. Let's take out those bad Hydra thugs. I mean, it is called the Hydra Stomper after all, so I think we can have a lot of fun with him. And he is properly huge. So he is, what is it, Ryan? You were saying that he was bigger than another massive armor, right?
Yeah, he's actually, I think, close to 9.5 inches. I measured him next to our Age of Ultron MCU Hulkbuster, and while the Hulkbuster is very bulky, he's still very heavy. You've got actually the Hydra Stomper, a little bit taller, not even counting the antenna, actually counting the top of his head. It's a little taller. So it speaks to the scale of this figure. He is properly huge. And Dwight, do you want to demo again the how the backpack kind of articulates, the jetpack there?
Sure. Yeah, so you got a couple of hinges on the back, and they just click forward or back, so you can have him flying, like this, or they can open up. And when they open up, it reveals the clamp, which would allow you to have room to take her gripping hand and kind of, hold on to the backpack. And then, if I wasn't holding them, you could articulate her to have her foot kind of resting in here, and she can kind of hang off his back. So you can definitely have some fun with those if you get the full collection. And why wouldn't you? Because they look really, really cool. And it's some brand new things that you've never had before. Hydra Stomper, brand new character. Captain Carter, brand new character. Our first ever Uatu, first ever Sylvie. So as well as some, first zombies and things. So a lot of freshness, a lot of newness, and an awesome new show that we're all super excited to watch now that Loki is wrapped. Bring on What If and whatever's next.
And one more note about this: if you don't want his backpack on for any kind of posing, it just, there's a simple plug hole that you can go in and out. So however you want to display him. But this Hydra Stomper will be available, same deal, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, everywhere you get your Legends. So go get him too and get psyched for What If in a couple of weeks here. So that's going to properly wrap up What If. I'm going to kick it over to Dan now, who's going to give us, an update and a walkthrough on Galactus, our HasLab awesome project that Dwight and Dan and Jesse and Ryan Panagos, Agent M, kicked off. So back to you, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, Dwight's dogs are so excited to talk about Galactus that they wanted to chime in. So yeah, thank you, everyone. I just wanted to take some time to give a shout out to all of you guys because Galactus is not fully funded yet. We're getting there, but it's not a given, right? We need everyone's support, and so we just wanted to take some time to say thank you to those who have already backed the project, and thank you for those who have told their mothers and brothers and sisters that they need to back it as well. I know some people are on the fence, so that's why we're going to quickly just recap the Galactus one more time. And like I said, Dwight's dogs, they wanted to chime in too. So let's just quickly go through Galactus one more time. He is super detailed and articulated. Shout out to our guy, Dave White, for always shooting us these awesome photos. Here we have Galactus about to maybe eat a planet, but just look at the design and sculpt. Shout out to Dwight again. Look at this beautiful figure. If Ryan was mentioning before how if we didn't know he was 32 inches, if you just look at this image, it could really be just like one of our other Marvel Legends figures in terms of the design and detail and the sculpt. And there he is with the articulation. I know in our promos, we have to legally say it's plus 70, but to be honest, it's really closer to 75, 76 points of articulation with this figure. So it has so much articulation, and it's 32 inches tall. So as you see from that Mr. Fantastic 6-inch figure, the size is massive. So this item is going to be the centerpiece to any collection that you might have. Or if you need some figure to guard your house while you're sleeping, this is the perfect little item here for you too. This is technically the largest and tallest Marvel Legends figure that we've ever done. So again, great figure, great HasLab, and it needs your support still. So if you're on the fence, take a moment to just look at these photos one more time and get your Galactus. Don't hesitate anymore. Come on, let's get this. And I forgot, the faceplates too. Dwight, I know you were on the live stream last time. Anything else that we might have missed on the live stream like a couple weeks ago that you want to add on?
So yeah, like like we were talking, he's got the 3 different face plates. He's got the stoic face, he's got the angry face, and then he's got the rotting skull face, which is probably my favorite one. It allows you to do a lot of different things for it. You can have him, he's either starving Galactus, he's dead Galactus, he could be a zombie Galactus, or if you rip the head off and just have it floating around, it can be the Galactus engine from the Cancerverse. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with this, just these little face swap outs. And with the LEDs in his head and in his chest, it really brings this character to life. I can't wait for this thing to be fully funded and become a reality, because I don't want to be the only one with one, because that's just not fair. I think you all deserve to have one, and you guys should go out there and back him so that we can make him and make that a reality, because I've been having a blast with him over this last week, taking pictures of him with the Fantastic Four and a whole bunch of other figures, just because it's so much fun to play around with these things and imagine what will be possible when it's actually made into real production plastics. So there you go.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Last week too, we also started teasing the stretch goals. So if you followed Hasbro Pulse on Instagram or followed me and Ryan, we both teased out some stretch goals here that we wanted to showcase. I saw on the internet some very highly detective fans. They've, I think, had many good guesses about who these figures might be. So here are just the first 2 tiers or stretch goals that we're just teasing at this point right now. Once we hit a certain number, we'll definitely reveal the first one to you guys. But again, Galactus is not a given. We need your help and your support, and we just want to take some time to really say thank you to those who have supported this awesome Marvel Legends HasLab figure.
Let me jump in real quick there, Dan. While those show the silhouettes of a couple of figures, there are still some extra bells and whistles that go along with those figures that weren't shown in that teaser either. So there's some extra little goodies in there that'll really make it a more premium experience for you to be able to play and display with the big man. So, fingers crossed we get to them.
There's a lot of space on that digital teaser that we had too. So just FYI, just try to see what can go into that little teaser there. But moving on from HasLab Galactus, we wanted to kind of keep that cosmic theme. Earlier this year, we were talking about how Walgreens in the US and EB Games in Canada had that cosmic theme, right? So we introduced Silver Surfer, we introduced Nova, we introduced Quasar. And so the last Walgreens exclusive for the US today that we will be revealing, and it will be go on pre-order for international fans, is going to be, drum roll please, Binary. Here we go. Dwight, do you have anything cool to showcase about Binary?
I think she's just another great cosmic character that we haven't had a chance to activate against. So going with our cosmic theme, and this is the final cosmic member for this program. The next program will be something, once again, all new and different, like we like to do, to mix it up. But Binary comes with open hands, fist hands, like comet fireball fist, and kind of extra fire detail, cosmic fire that you can wrap around her forearms as well. She's got the flame effects going up from her boots to her gloves, creeping up her arms and thighs, and a really cool face with a translucent kind of cosmic star fire hairpiece. I really don't know how to, I guess it's kind of like a giant starfish on her head, but it's her hair, and it's clear and translucent. It's translucent. It's got a really cool tint to it, as well as all of her fire effects. And I think she looks awesome. And once again, first time we've had a chance to do Binary in the line. So there you go. Another new character for you.
Yeah, most definitely. I love when we have a chance to do some new characters, and I think she's going to be awesome in your Cosmic collection. I know there have been a lot of questions with Nova in terms of, US fans with Walgreens. we have asked the question, and we really think that Nova should be available later this summer. And, Binary and also Quasar should be available in the fall in Walgreens if you're a US fan. So, yeah, I know there's been a lot of questions with the Walmart or Walgreens exclusives, but hold on tight, fans. Be patient in the US, and knock on wood that everything will be good to go. So I'm going to kick it back to Ryan to talk about our next item. So Ryan, why don't you take us through our next item?
Sure. One more item that will be a reveal, not for pre-order today, but this takes us back to 2017. So that was the year of Spider-Man Homecoming. Awesome film. We did a bunch of we did a wave. We did a 2-pack, and the Build-A-Figure for that wave that year was actually the Vulture's kind of flight gear, but it wasn't actually accurate to the final film because we were working with what we had at the time. And because 2021, again, is a big year for Spider-Man, we're going to be re-releasing the Vulture and his flight gear. So we can take a look. But again, I just want to preface this with this item is branded Spider-Man Homecoming, which you'll see on the package. It is based 100% on Homecoming. We actually don't even know what is going to happen. So please don't read anything into this, guys. This is 100% accurate or close to it of Spider-Man Homecoming Vulture. So you'll see here, you get the 6-inch figure, obviously. You get the fully articulated wings, great deco on it, the little turbines in the back for anyone who doesn't have this figure from a couple years ago. A lot of articulation, they rotate there. And then we're going to take a look at some of the new bits, new, more accurate pieces that Dwight and the team have added. So Dwight, walk us through the new sculpt parts here.
Sure. The big news is he has an all-new helmet, an accurate film helmet with the one tube coming out of the side of his face that plugs into the back of his head. We've added the exo armor as sleeves for his forearms, as well as the control rod controllers, his hand grips. So those are all bits and pieces that we didn't have in the last one. And then we retooled his legs, thighs, knees, and shins to have the, once again, that exo armor going up the sides of his legs to be much more film accurate. So he's a much more accurate representation. This one obviously comes with his full wing glider pack, which is very similar to the previous offering, just with some tweaked deco. And all of his deco has been updated as well across the figure. So we think it's a much, much better representation of what he looked like in that film. And just a really nice, awesome deluxe item, because he looks really cool when you have all those bits and pieces and you can put them together.
Yeah, I love how those arm gauntlets are kind of detachable, and the little, I think like the control pieces you were saying are actually like freestanding, so that you just plug them into the C grips. They're not actually like connected to the arm pieces, so greater range of motion, and you actually don't have to have them wearing it if you don't want to. So let's take a closer look at this item. This item is actually going to be a Target exclusive in the US for later this year. Here's the look at it in pack. You've got Spider-Man Homecoming, you've got the Vulture, his wings behind him, and his new arm bits there. So had to have some more Spider-Man excitement as we gear up to the upcoming movie that's going to be brand new that we know nothing about. So there you have it. And so let's move on to the next item. Cheers. Here. We've got we teased this render. I think it was back in May. It was almost 2 months ago, a little over 2 months ago, where we revealed Tigra. Tony and team did this awesome render of the Tiger figure, and so we're going to be revealing the figure in its full glory here, and then talking to the pre-order. So let's take a closer look at Tigra.
She's great. She's 100% new. She has double pinless arms and legs. She's got her bare feet with her toenails. She's got swappable fist and claw strike hands. She has an articulated tail that you can move to the left and to the right. And she has an alternate expression for kind of a more kind of calm beauty look, as well as a really pissed off, I'm going to slash your car tires with my hands, because that's what I can do. Not that she would, but she could. So why not?
What a world. We are revealing 2 all new female figures with pinless articulation and double elbows, 2 of them in one live stream. how far we've come. But let's take a closer look at how Tigra is going to come here. So very much like the Hercules figure we released, these are kind of Avengers, West Coast Avengers or kind of classic Avengers themed characters. So we put both of them on the 1990 inspired Toy Biz Marvel Superheroes card, with the gray card with the blue top bit with the yellow stars. And so here you see Tigra, the feline fury. Particularly proud of our copy call out on this one in the lower left hand. So, if you don't know about the character, go look it up. But she gets her power from that cat's head amulet that is kind of around her there. So this is Tigra. She is going to be a shared fan channel item. So pre-order again tomorrow, the 29th, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Definitely on the Pulse. Check it out. And then other fan channel retailers as well. So there you have Tigra and Hercules. All right, so next thing is I'm going to kick it back to Dan to walk us through, but we love the fans and we love talking with you guys and hearing from you, and so we're trying something new for this live stream.
Yeah, I don't think we needed to talk anybody anything else, but basically we just wanted to keep evolving our live streams and really incorporate all of you guys. So one way that we want to incorporate is to talk to some of our cool Marvel Legends influencers and people who work within the toy community for reviewers. So we had a pre-recorded session with some people within the community, and they're going to ask a pre-recorded question. Dwight and Ryan have not seen what the questions are, so it is still going to be live reaction. I kind of cheated and I kind of saw all the questions, so my bad, guys, I cheated. But to Dwight and Ryan, these are going to be brand new questions that they've never seen. So you'll see a live reaction from them. So let's go to the videotape and see some of you guys ask us questions.
Hi friends, it's Carly over at Annoying You with Friendship, and I have a question for the Marvel Legends team at Hasbro. So if you watch my videos, you know that one of my favorite parts of reviewing any action figure is the research that goes into learning about each character. So what I want to know is, what is the research process look like over at Hasbro? Are the figures individually researched? Is there a team that does it? Does everyone work together? Is each person responsible for their expertise? Or do you guys have a comic library that everybody can dip into? I can't wait to find out what your process for researching is when you're choosing the figures you make. And thanks for letting me ask my question. Bye, friends.
All right, I'll take the question first, guys. Thanks, Carly, for the question. I wish we had a cool comic library for Hasbro, and I think we could. That's a great idea that I think we should work on. Overall, when it comes to, characters, the design team, engineering team, packaging, branding, marketing, and our copy team, we all work together like a collective hive mind kind of thing. And we try to, that's how we kind of get information, really. We also refer to our official Marvel bios that our partners at Marvel give us. And we all have Marvel Unlimited, like the digital comics app. So we're always big fans. We always have different favorite characters that we have. So we kind of work together as a big team to try to make sure that all the historical knowledge about the characters are correct. You guys have any other input you guys want to put into that question?
I think that's great, Dan. I think the only added piece to that is Jesse and his team is really good at giving us updates from the publishing retreats. So once or twice a year, all of the Marvel powers that be come together to talk about stories and where they want to go. And after those meetings are over, Jesse, is great to recap them to us and get us the reference that is discussed in the new costume, so we can see what the big stories that will be coming shortly are, usually about a year out, and get some ideas on the big new costume changes for all of our big heroes. So that's another big element to the puzzle, but you pretty much covered it.
And I'll just also add that a lot of us are fans of, vintage Marvel toys, going back to Toy Biz and even earlier. And you guys know me and my trading cards, so we look for inspiration from all realms of the Marvel universe.
Hey guys, so my question is, when conceptualizing Galactus, how does the team decide what to take from classic and modern looks and what to create from scratch to design a figure that's truly unique while also honoring the look of the original character?
Good question. Yeah, okay. I'll jump in on this one, guys. Galactus was designed by taking a few different things and pulling them all together. The problem with Galactus is he can be the size of a planet, he can be the size of a skyscraper, or a really tall house, right? I mean, he can be any of those things depending on the narrative of the story that he's being incorporated in. So when we were trying to figure out how big he should be, we kind of leaned heavily onto the early 80s Byrne era of Fantastic Four run. That was when there was a lot of Galactus was starving a lot, and we're like, oh, okay, let's think about that. A starving Galactus is something that we can produce, and it's still, massive compared to most figures that we have in our library. So we leaned heavily into his look and feel for the size of the character. But we also had to think about, how does Galactus stand next to our current line of action figures, as well as the Sentinel HasLab that was funded a year ago. So that item was based off of heavily the House of X series looks. So it was kind of a modern interpretation of a classic design. So we kind of took that same feeling for Galactus, and I worked with a talented illustrator on the outside to help pull those components together to get the right look and feel with those kind of comic references, as well as working with Jesse Falcon and the Marvel team to help pull and tug where we needed to get a design that we felt read strongly classic, but had a little bit more of that modern flair to make it look appropriate for the current look of the Marvel Legends line.
Thanks for that question. That was from our friend Blainer Things, who I'm sure if you guys don't already follow him, you should, because he's a great artist himself. So it's fitting that he would ask that kind of a question. He designs superhero costumes and movie costumes, and he has a lot of great work. So go follow him if you don't already. Next up.
Hey guys, what's up? Just wondering, when might we get an update on more army builders, as we did get a tease for new S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and what looked like the reveal that Skrulls were coming.
All right, so thanks for the question, Boog. We know troop builders are near and dear to your heart. Insofar as teases we've done, I'm not going to confirm anything that you might have said, because I know you like to entrap us in these interviews, but it's all good. But yes, there will be more troop builders coming. We've teased them. There will be multiple items for you to continue to fill out your displays. And actually, speaking of which, I think Dwight can actually show you something in hand to confirm the very next troop builder, confirmed right here for you.
Yeah, we want to show the whole thing. Is that what we're doing now? So,
show the whole.
Here we go, guys.
Whoa.
We have done red hand ninjas, but we have not yet done hand ninjas in their black costume. And we had some fun with this guy. We made him look properly undead. So his skin tone is a pale, sickly kind of greenish yellow look. So he looks properly undead, as all hand ninjas should be. He comes with commas. He comes with the alternate gripping, as well as open hands. He has his ninja sword on his back, of course. And he's got these really cool red eyes to make him look really nice and properly evil this time around. So there you go. One more awesome army of hand to add to your shelves.
Here's a full look at the item with the packaging. Shout out to Jim on our packaging team, who has managed all of these troop builders. You know the box, so you kind of know what you're getting here, but brand new illustration. You see 3 of the hand ninjas on the front there. So go out and get your hand ninjas in multiples. These will be much easier to get multiples at a time than the Stiltman wave ninjas, which were, like 1 per case and harder to come by. So you can go build these with much greater ease.
Have you guys thought about doing more complete teams from different eras as box sets? It's a great way to introduce new characters as well as old ones and get slight redesigns and redecos out of it. I think that'd be great.
Yo, shout out to D Amazing. Yeah, D Amazing has the best poses. So shout out to you, man. Thanks for the question. I'll take this one, guys. I think all of us love completing teams. I think as a collector, that's one of the biggest things that we want to do, is making sure that we complete all of our Marvel Legends teams. but we're very strategic about it, right? So whether it be through a single release or a multi-pack or a larger box set that you guys are familiar with, right? We try to pick and choose and be very strategic about that. What's great about Marvel Legends is that or Marvel in general, is that there's so many teams or sub teams. There's a favorite team for me versus what, Dwight likes, what Ryan likes. And so it's very hard to touch on every single team, but we are pretty strategic and aware of which teams we haven't completed yet, right? And we like to seed some individual characters from teams for the future as well. So it's really about balancing out, throughout multiple years about what we want to do. So sometimes it comes out in a box set. Sometimes it's just an individual character within a wave.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ebro94, and my question is regarding to Iron Man. Iron Man is my favorite superhero, so it's no surprise that the Ursa Major wave was one of my favorite waves for Marvel Legends. Is there any way that we can look forward to a Wave 2 or Wave 3 of Iron Man comic book-based Marvel Legends figures?
I love the Ursa Major as well. That was an awesome kind of fun surprise build a figure for one of our waves. So yeah, the Iron Man wave is a lot of fun for us just because as Tony Stark's story in the MCU amps down, it gives us the opportunity to have a lot of fun in the comic realms because he's such an important character to Marvel and he's such an important character to Marvel Legends. We're always looking for ways to do more comic iterations of that character. He's always getting new armors designed every couple of years in the comic books, as well as there's still piles of armors from the past that we haven't had a chance to revisit or, in some cases ever make. I know I, for one, would love to revisit the House of M Iron Man and get an updated version of him out there. Not that the old Toy Biz one needs updating. That was an amazing figure, but it's so old now. I'm assuring that there's a lot of people who don't have it in their collection. So I would love to do that. I know we're not going to confirm that there's another Iron Man wave on the horizon today, but we are constantly looking at characters like him and trying to figure out ways to keep him relevant in the collections. And I'm sure you'll see more Iron Man stuff in the future.
All right, y'all, question for you. So I know that when I first started collecting Marvel figures as a kid, I liked more modern comic designs. But of course, now that I'm older, I like stuff that's more reminiscent of the 80s and 90s, which could have the potential to seem outdated to newer or younger fans. So what I want to know is how easy or difficult is it to find that balance in pleasing both modern and classic fans in the Legend series? Thanks, y'all.
That's a great
he didn't do an
question,
impression of you. He didn't
Just
do an
Jay
impression of
Hernandez.
Dwight.
He got shy on us.
Oh, wow.
He got shy on us.
I'm being interviewed by myself. This is fun.
Hashtag balance challenge, by the way. We saw it in his little setup there with his symbiote Spider-Man. But yeah, that's a fun question. Clearly, a lot of us are longtime fans, and I think to answer it, it's difficult. It's one of the biggest challenges that we face when planning our lines, like which versions of characters to do. But we definitely know that Legends got where it is today. Almost 20 years old now, and then even earlier if you count some of the Toy Biz stuff from people who grew up in the 80s and 90s reading those types of comics. So we'll never turn our back on those fans. We'll always offer those type of now what might be considered more vintage kind of designs. But we do also have to balance that on the flip side with all the new great stuff that's going on in Marvel, from MCU to Disney Plus to now animation. We did some Maximum Venom items a year or two ago, as that was a big new animated show for kids. But we got some really cool Legends figures out of that, from a Venomized Cap to Miles and Ghost Spider there. So it's always about that balance. And I think what's great about Legends is we're to the point, thanks to all of your support and passion for it, we have a lot of items a year, so we can sprinkle things here for different tastes and continue to do both classic as well as more modern designs.
Yeah, I think we try to protect money for both as well, right? We've got a ton of stuff that we do for the theatrical or Disney Plus, but we always do make sure that we set aside a bucket of our budget for the year for some new classic opportunities. Tigra is a great example that we just debuted the actual figure today, right? I mean, 100% new classic character, from back in the day. So we've got a few more of those coming in the near future, which I'm sure we'll talk about on the upcoming fan first events. For some more, I can guarantee you'll get at least 2 more all new classic characters that you've never seen before, trickling out between now and the end of the year, or we'll be talking about them between now and the end of the year.
It was there for me the whole time. Hashtag balance challenge. It's a different kind of balance. It's balancing your line planning. What have we got next?
Hey guys, MCU Collector here with my question for you guys, the Hasbro Marvel Legends team. Now that Galactus has been announced as the next HasLab project, it being an action figure, now the second action figure to be a HasLab project, have there been any thoughts or discussions on doing other types of items such as vehicles?
Oh yeah, we totally have. We argue many meetings over what should be, what should have been HasLab 2, as well as the potential HasLab 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever down the line if we continue to have success with the program. I know we've done 2 big guys, and we felt very strongly for what they are coming out first, but we've had lots of discussions for vehicles as well. The nice thing about the Marvel HasLabs to date is both of the things that we have succeeded with and that we're proposing are, for lack of a better description, shelfable. They're massive in height, but they're not that deep, so that we know your storage and your displays are limited, and we want to be respectful of that where we can. We don't want to make something that's just so overwhelmingly massive or weird that it's like, okay, great, yeah, I would love to have it, but what am I going to do with it? We were joking about the helicarrier, right? We made a super helicarrier for Comic-Con a few years ago for 3 3/4 inch, and that was a really large vehicle. But to do a proper helicarrier justice and 1/12 scale, it'd be the size of my house, which would be amazing. But I don't think my wife would allow me to stay living with her if I tried to bring something like that home. So things like the helicarrier and things are probably not, on the docket, but things like the Quinjet, or I don't know. I don't even want to say too many different things because I don't want to tip a hat to other things that we might be looking at. But there are vehicles that we're discussing, and I think if we can continue to see success with the HasLab campaigns, you'll definitely see vehicles enter the fray in the near future.
Hey guys, so there are Marvel fans all over the world. Can you guys shed some light on why the HasLab Galactus is not offered internationally? And will our international friends have the opportunity to purchase Galactus at some point in the future?
All right, Dan. From one Dan to another Dan, I will say our international friends in some markets are able to purchase or back Galactus. HasLab obviously is offered to our fans here in the US and Canada and in the UK through Hasbro Pulse, but the HasLab Galactus is available in certain markets. For instance, if you go outside of the UK into the other EU markets, Zavvi has a pre-order for Galactus there. There's a retailer within Mexico. There's Zing for New Zealand and Australia. And in Asia, there are multiple markets that also have like a local partner that is also making HasLab available to them. Now, that doesn't mean that we have a retailer partner for every single country in the globe, unfortunately. But I think we've tried very hard to make sure that a lot of our international friends have the capability of backing Galactus. And I hope everybody does back Galactus.
Yeah, I think all the brands who are running HasLabs, we continue to build off of each other. So not to toot our own horn, but the Sentinel was the first HasLab project that was available not only in Europe, but also Asia, Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, and Latin America. So we're continuing that with Galactus, as Dan said. So as many of our great fans worldwide can show their support.
My question is, what kind of head articulation are we getting on this Galactus? Are we getting a ball joint with a hinge? Are we going to get a dumbbell joint? I'm curious to know how that's going to work with electronics.
Cool. Russ, I can take that one. I got the model here. The guys told me to bring it, so I brought it. So we got Galactus here, and while we are not quite finalized yet, right now there are 2 electronics packages for this character. One solely in his head, and then one solely in his chest. So when you pop his head off, right now it is just on a post, but we went with a nice thickness for the neck, and the dogs are about to go crazy. And from the large neck, it goes into the much thinner area so that the head can snap on. And you can see, like I said, this is still prototype. This isn't production. So there's still some things to be worked out inside there. But when the head pops on, you still get a decent amount of, up and down, full left and right movement, a little bit of that tilting left and right, as well as up and down. So a decent amount of range. But because we were still trying to figure out throughout the process of how we were going to do the electronics, that's why it's a separate just kind of post in there on this big guy.
So is there a hinge, Dwight, or is it just a post?
It is just a barbell post, but this barbell post does not move. The movement comes from the head keying on top of it.
Okay, cool. Still looks great. And after all these years, Dwight, now you finally have given Shartimus double-jointed female elbows. So his new go-to question is neck articulation on HasLabs. Just wanted to point that out.
All right. We knew it had to be something, right?
That's his new corner. That's great. We all need him.
Hey, what's up, Marvel team? My question to you is, will there be any themed waves to accompany the HasLab releases? Thank you for taking my question.
Who wants to do
I couldn't recognize him without the beard. All right, Wade.
He's looking all streamlined, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Okay. We what are the waves for the Galactus? We've talked about there's going to be other things coming out to kind of support him, but I don't know about the specifics of what we are allowed to talk about. But I think you'll definitely be seeing more fantastic offerings in the near future. Because it just kind of seems to make sense. I mean, we had the House of X Powers of 10, right? Is that right?
Yes. Good job, guys.
So yeah, while we had that wave that would go along with the timing of the Sentinel, I think it would make sense if we had something to go along with the timing of Galactus,
Thanks everyone for the questions. We know we've been running long, so thank you for sticking with us. And as a special treat for sticking with us for so long, Dwight has his trademark little accessory tease to show, and then let's take a look at that if you have it, Dwight. What do we got here?
Yeah, I was, I wanted to talk about something and I wanted to share something with you guys, but I also don't want to add more just noise and clatter to the internet world. I definitely don't want to be accused of spreading fear, doubt, or hate. So, I don't know if we'll talk about it today or some other time, but let's just have some fun. Let's keep everything civil and see what happens next.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the Twitterverse and the Instagramverse can be filled with fear, doubt, and hate. So let's all just, as a collective community, right? How about instead of those? How about valor, faith, and respect? Those 3 words sound better to me. All right, we'll see you on the interwebs, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This has been your Fan First Wednesday Marvel Edition. We will catch you next time. Continue to follow Hasbro Pulse for all the news for Legends that you need. Bye.
See you guys.
Peace. Oh, yeah.